John Joseph Paul was born on August 17, 1918, to Roland and Louise Paul of La Crosse, Wisconsin. He was the oldest son in the family of 10 children, including 4 sisters and 6 brothers. Johnny Paul, as he was known in La Crosse, grew up in the shadow of St. Joseph's Cathedral. He attended Cathedral Grade School and Aquinas High School, where he was active in many sports, but was outstanding in baseball and basketball.
He had ball games to go to, even in high school, he was playing ball all the time. And of course, when he got during the summer months, he was playing baseball with the American Legion.
But I remember him very much when I was a boy, because he was a kind of a legend in La Crosse. He was a baseball player that I remember seeing on the Franz tire team. They were the sponsors. I remember seeing him as a catcher in baseball, and he was good.
Upon graduation, he attended Loras College, then called Columbia College, in Dubuque, Iowa. Known as a natural athlete and leader, he excelled in many sports.
As he developed a catcher there, he got to be a catcher at Loras too, and he played ball with them.
Though he would never talk about it, John became quite well known for his prowess on the basketball court.
I remember after a game down in Cotter High School, he took 3 or 4 of us seniors in the car. We went down to La Crosse, stayed over at night in his mother's house, went down to Dubuque, Iowa. Never suggested anybody ever attend Loras College. We were just going down there to see a ball game. And of course, he walks into the field house, and the manager, the professional manager, comes out, and of course, he's all over Father Paul. He's obviously one of the local heroes. And then we're at the game. We go early, we're sitting behind the scorer's table. And all of a sudden, some adults right behind us said, "There's Johnny Paul." Well, of course, we'd never heard anybody address Father Paul as Johnny Paul, and we would never dared. He was always Father Paul. And they began to talk about this guy, whom we thought we knew pretty well. We were high school seniors then. And they started talking about all of his athletic achievements while he had been at Loras. And boy, we gained an added amount of respect, learning that he had done things we never had heard about, and of course, never from him.
John Paul was inducted into the Loras College Athletic Hall of Fame in 1983 for his accomplishments in baseball, basketball, and football.
Johnny Paul never looked back. One of the amazing things about him, you could hang around him a lot, and he never ever talked about games that he played, about times, when he had the winning shot. One time, Loras played Marquette, 3 overtimes. Paul scores the final basket. They carry him off the field, off the floor. They put him on the shoulders down at Loras College, and they carry him off the basketball floor. Okay, he would never talk about that kind of thing.
In 1939, the clergyman catcher, as one local sports writer liked to call him, was offered a chance to try out for the Chicago Cubs. Instead, John followed God's calling and entered St. Mary's Seminary in Baltimore, Maryland, a decision he never regretted. He was ordained a priest at the St. Rose of Viterbo Convent in La Crosse on January 23, 1943. From his earliest years, Father Paul loved working with children. Many recall how the young man dedicated his college summers to the orphans at St. Michael's.
I remember seeing him as a lifeguard out at St. Michael's Orphanage, and I know that as a seminarian, he was reaching out already to, the kids who were underprivileged, and he had this great big heart.
His mother once told people that he used to run from his home on 8th Street all the way to St. Michael's to work with the boys in the garden, take them boating or fishing, and teach them how to play baseball.
And he used to go there and work in the summertime when he was in the seminary. And even ready then, his connection with the young boys that were there, they were hard as rocks, but not around him, because he was just like a father to them, and they followed him around like like little mice, you know, and he took them all over.